Have you ever noticed that something unexpected starts happening as you grow older? Something no one warned you about? Men don't just look at you anymore. They feel you. They lean in closer. They open up faster. Sometimes they seem nervous, curious, even slightly undone around you, and you quietly wonder, why now? Why at this stage of my life? Society has spent decades telling women that youth is power, that desire fades with age, that attention slowly disappears. But if you're being honest with yourself, your lived experience tells a very different story. Because the truth is, many men don't just like older women, they go crazy for them. And it's not because of makeup, bodies, or trying to compete with younger women. It's because of something deeper that develops only with time, emotional maturity, and self-awareness. I'm Dr. Elina, and today we're talking about the 4 powerful things older women do, often without even realizing it, that trigger intense attraction, emotional curiosity, and deep attachment in men. These aren't tricks. These aren't games, and they certainly aren't about changing who you are. In fact, they're about finally becoming who you are. If you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or quietly powerful without understanding why men respond to you the way they do, this conversation is for you. And if you've ever questioned your desirability, your relevance, or your value as the years pass, stay with me. Because what you're about to hear may completely change how you see yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand why men are drawn to older women in ways that surprise even them, and why your age may not be your limitation, but your greatest advantage. One of the most powerful reasons men go crazy for older women is this subtle but life-changing shift. She no longer chases validation. When a woman is younger, much of her emotional energy is spent asking unspoken questions. Am I enough? Am I desirable? Will he choose me? Over time, through relationships, heartbreaks, growth, and self-reflection, something begins to change. An older woman starts to realize that constantly seeking approval costs her peace. And the moment she stops performing for validation, her entire energy transforms. She becomes emotionally grounded, calm, and self-assured, not because everything in her life is perfect, but because she knows who she is. Men feel this immediately. It's not something they can logically explain, but they sense it the moment they're in her presence. She isn't trying to impress, she isn't over-giving to be liked, she isn't shrinking herself to keep someone interested, and that creates a kind of emotional gravity that pulls men in. What makes this so powerful is that men are rarely around women who don't need something from them emotionally. Many men are used to being chased, managed, or emotionally negotiated with. But an older woman who has stopped seeking validation offers something different: emotional safety. Her calm communicates, I'm already whole. And paradoxically, that wholeness makes men want to step closer, not farther away. They feel chosen rather than pressured. They feel respected rather than tested. And that dynamic quietly awakens desire. Not surface-level attraction, but deep emotional curiosity. Men start to wonder, why does she feel so different? They listen more closely. They invest more emotionally. They show up more fully. This shift also changes how an older woman handles attention. She doesn't rush to respond. She doesn't panic when there's silence. She doesn't confuse intensity with intimacy. Instead, she moves at her own pace, and this grounded presence often unsettles men in the best possible way because it challenges their expectations. They can't predict her reactions, they can't manipulate her emotions, they can only meet her where she stands. That authenticity creates respect, and respect is the foundation of real attraction. Perhaps most importantly, when a woman stops seeking validation, she stops abandoning herself. She listens to her intuition, she honors her needs, and men can sense when a woman is deeply aligned with herself. It creates trust, stability, and deep emotional depth, qualities that become increasingly attractive with age. This is why older women often notice that men open up faster around them, share more honestly, and become emotionally attached more quickly. It's not because she's doing something to them, it's because she's no longer doing violence to herself. And that inner peace is profoundly magnetic. But this is only the beginning. Because once a woman stops seeking validation, the way she understands desire itself changes. And that's where men truly start to lose their composure. The second reason men go crazy for older women is that they stop competing, and instead, they understand desire. Younger women are often taught, subtly or directly, that attraction is a competition. Be more beautiful, more exciting, more available, more impressive than the next woman. Over time, many women realize how exhausting and hollow that mindset is. An older woman has usually lived long enough to see that desire isn't won through comparison, it's created through connection. And that understanding completely changes how men experience her. She no longer measures herself against younger women, social media images, or unrealistic standards. She knows that desire is not about being chosen because she outperformed someone else, but because she created a space where a man feels seen, relaxed, and emotionally open. Men are deeply affected by the shift, even if they can't articulate it. When a woman stops competing, she removes pressure from the interaction. She isn't trying to prove her worth or outshine anyone. She's present. She listens. She responds thoughtfully rather than reactively. And this presence allows men to lower their guard. Many men carry unspoken stress around performance, being strong enough, successful enough, desirable enough. When they are around an older woman who understands desire as connection rather than conquest, that stress begins to dissolve. They feel accepted as they are, not as they're pretending to be. And that acceptance creates emotional intimacy faster than flirtation ever could. What's particularly powerful is that older women understand that desire includes emotional safety. They know that men want to be wanted, but not controlled, desired, but not pressured. And older women can express interest without desperation, attraction without anxiety. She doesn't rush intimacy to secure commitment. She allows desire to unfold naturally. This pacing creates anticipation, curiosity, and depth. Men feel drawn in because they're not being pushed or pulled, they're being invited. And that invitation feels rare, grounding, and deeply intoxicating. This understanding also allows older women to remain unthreatened by other women. They don't feel the need to compete for attention in a room. They know that the right connection doesn't require rivalry. This quiet confidence is incredibly attractive to men because it signals emotional maturity. It says, I trust myself, I trust life, and I trust what's meant for me. Men respond to that energy by investing more emotionally because they sense stability rather than chaos. Ultimately, when a woman understands desire rather than chasing it, she becomes unforgettable. Men remember how they felt around her, calm, accepted, alive, and that emotional imprint lingers long after the interaction ends. This is why men often find themselves thinking about older women unexpectedly, reaching out again, or opening up more deeply than they planned. It's not about age, it's about emotional intelligence. And once a man feels that level of emotional connection, the way she sets boundaries becomes absolutely pivotal, because that's where attraction turns into respect. The third reason men go crazy for older women is the way they communicate boundaries. Clearly, calmly, and without guilt. This is a skill that usually comes only with time and experience. Many women spend years believing that setting boundaries will push people away, create conflict, or make them seem difficult. So they over-explain, soften their needs, or tolerate behavior that quietly drains them. An older woman has often learned, sometimes the hard way, that peace is more valuable than approval. And once she understands that, her boundaries stop being defensive and start being self-respecting. She doesn't argue for her worth, she doesn't threaten or demand, she simply states what she is available for and what she is not. Men feel this immediately, and it affects them deeply. Clear boundaries create emotional clarity, A man knows where he stands, he knows what is acceptable and what isn't. There is no confusion, no guessing games, no emotional chaos. And contrary to what many women fear, this does not push men away, it actually pulls the right ones closer. Boundaries signal self-trust. They say, I know myself and I honor myself. For men, this is incredibly grounding. It removes power struggles and replaces them with respect. And respect is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. What makes older women especially magnetic is that their boundaries are not delivered with anger or fear. They are calm, steady, unapologetic. She doesn't need to punish or prove a point. If something doesn't align with her values, she addresses it once, clearly, and then she follows through. That consistency builds trust. Men know she means what she says. They know she won't move the line just to keep them comfortable. And that predictability creates emotional safety, which allows attraction to deepen rather than collapse under pressure. There's also something profoundly attractive about a woman who is willing to walk away from what doesn't serve her. Not dramatically, not bitterly, but peacefully. Men sense when a woman's life does not revolve around being chosen. She has standards, rhythms, and priorities beyond the relationship. This doesn't make men feel rejected, it makes them feel challenged in a healthy way. They rise to meet her level, or they naturally fall away. Either way, the dynamic remains clean and respectful. Perhaps most importantly, boundaries protect intimacy. When a woman doesn't overgive or self-abandon, resentment doesn't build. She remains open, warm, and emotionally available because she feels safe within herself. Men respond to this by opening up more, not less. They share vulnerabilities, fears, and hopes because they trust that the emotional container she creates is stable. This is why men often feel more emotionally connected to older women, not because of control or manipulation, but because of clarity and self-respect. And when a man feels both emotionally safe and deeply respected, something else begins to happen. He starts responding to her feminine confidence in a way that surprises even him. The fourth reason men go crazy for older women is the way they embody feminine confidence. Not loudly, not performatively, but effortlessly. This kind of confidence doesn't come from external validation or attention. It comes from self-acceptance. An older woman has usually spent enough time living, loving, losing, and learning to stop apologizing for who she is. She no longer performs femininity to be desired. She simply exists in it. And men feel the difference immediately. There is ease in her presence. She is comfortable with silence. She doesn't rush to fill space or explain herself. This calm assurance creates a subtle emotional tension that draws men in because it feels rare in a world full of noise, anxiety, and performance. What makes this especially powerful is that feminine confidence is deeply disarming. Men are used to women trying to impress them, manage their reactions, or anticipate their needs. An older woman with feminine confidence doesn't do any of that. She allows men to come toward her emotionally rather than chasing them. She receives attention rather than demanding it. And this receptive energy is incredibly magnetic. It invites pursuit without pressure, interest without obligation. Men feel curious, not overwhelmed. They want to understand her, to be closer to her, because she feels both warm and self-contained. Feminine confidence also shows up in how she expresses desire. She doesn't hide it out of fear, nor that she use it to control. She is comfortable wanting and being wanted. This emotional honesty creates intimacy without urgency. Men feel trusted rather than tested. They don't feel rushed to perform or prove themselves. Instead, they feel invited into a shared experience. That sense of mutual choice, rather than emotional chasing, is what creates deep attachment. Another key element of feminine confidence is emotional regulation. Older women have often learned how to sit with their emotions without being consumed by them. They don't react impulsively. They respond thoughtfully. This steadiness allows men to relax emotionally. They don't feel like they have to walk on eggshells or manage someone else's emotional state. And when a man feels emotionally safe, his attraction deepens. He becomes more present, more open, more invested. Perhaps the most intoxicating part of feminine confidence is authenticity. An older woman doesn't pretend to be low maintenance if she isn't. She doesn't hide her depth to seem easier. She doesn't dilute her personality to be palatable. She trusts that the right person will meet her as she is. Men sense the self-trust and respond to it with admiration. They feel drawn to her, not because she's trying to be irresistible, but because she's unapologetically herself. This is why men often feel both excited and grounded around older women. They experience desire without chaos, attraction without anxiety. Feminine confidence creates a space where connection can deepen naturally, without force or fear. And once a man experiences that kind of presence, it's incredibly difficult to forget. And when a woman embodies this level of confidence, there's one final shift that changes everything. The moment she fully chooses herself, and men can feel it in every interaction. The most transformative reason men go crazy for older women is this: she chooses herself. This is not a slogan or a trend. It is a lived decision that comes from years of learning what happens when a woman abandons her own needs to keep a relationship alive. An older woman has often reached a point where she understands that love should not cost her peace, her identity, or her emotional health. Choosing herself means she no longer builds her life around being chosen by someone else. She builds a life that feels full, meaningful, and aligned, and then she invites someone into it. Men feel this difference immediately. Her energy is not grasping or anxious. It is grounded, steady, and self-contained. And that self-containment is deeply attractive. When a woman chooses herself, she stops dating from fear. She no longer tolerates inconsistency just to avoid being alone. She no longer stays quiet to keep the peace. Instead, she listens to her intuition and honors it. Men sense this emotional alignment and respond with respect. They understand, often unconsciously, that she is with them because she wants to be, not because she needs to be. And being wanted is far more powerful than being needed. It creates desire that is rooted in choice rather than obligation. Choosing herself also means she prioritizes her well-being without guilt. She values rest, joy, growth, and emotional honesty. She doesn't sacrifice her inner stability for temporary affection. This creates a relationship dynamic where men feel inspired to show up better, not because they're forced to, but because they want to be worthy of her presence. Her standards are not rigid demands. They are reflections of how she treats herself, and men often rise to meet that level because it feels authentic and earned. Another important shift that happens when a woman chooses herself is that she becomes less reactive. She doesn't chase reassurance. She doesn't spiral into self-doubt when things feel uncertain. She trusts that what is meant for her will meet her with consistency and care. This emotional steadiness is incredibly calming for men. It removes drama and replaces it with depth. Men feel safe investing emotionally because they know she won't lose herself in the relationship, and that makes intimacy sustainable. Perhaps the most magnetic part of choosing oneself is the sense of purpose it creates. An older woman who was aligned with her values, passions, and boundaries radiates fulfillment. She doesn't expect a man to complete her. She allows him to complement her life. Men are drawn to this energy because it feels expansive rather than consuming. They feel welcomed into her world, not responsible for holding it together.
This is why men often find themselves deeply affected by older women, not just attracted, but emotionally changed. When a woman chooses herself, she invites others to meet her at that level of self-respect and presence. And for men, encountering a woman like that is not just exciting, it's unforgettable. If there's one message I want you to take with you today, it's this: nothing about you is fading, it's refining. The qualities that truly move men aren't loud or forced. They are grounded, calm, and deeply self-aware. With time, experience, and self-respect, many women step into a version of themselves that is more magnetic than they ever imagined. And if you recognized yourself in any part of today's conversation, that's not an accident. It means you're growing into a deeper understanding of your worth. Remember, attraction isn't about trying harder or becoming someone else. It's about coming home to yourself. When you stop chasing validation, understand desire, communicate boundaries, embody feminine confidence, and truly choose yourself, the entire dynamic of connection changes. Not just with men, but with life. You feel steadier, clearer, more at peace. And that inner alignment is something people respond to instinctively. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these shifts are you experiencing right now? Or which one do you feel ready to step into? Your story matters, and sharing it may help another woman feel less alone on her journey. If this video spoke to you, please take a moment to like it. It helps this message reach more women who need reassurance and clarity. Subscribe to the channel for more thoughtful, emotionally intelligent guidance on relationships, confidence, and self-worth. And if you know a woman who might need to hear this today, please share this video with her. Your most powerful chapter isn't behind you. It's unfolding.